Oh my God, there's so many. Woodstock '99, that was big. The first time we were in Europe, we were opening up for KISS. We got to hang out and meet all those guys.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super pumped about this new record, Volume 10. It's our 10th record. It's, 24 years in this game, and it drops June 2nd, and it's so good. And, we've been sitting on this record since October of last year. So for it to finally hit the streets is very exciting for us.
Chomping at the bit to get it out now, and it is, that moment is
Yeah.
it's almost upon us. I can tell that you're excited. You've had a great year already. You've been out with Skid Row, haven't you, for a bit as well?
Yeah, we're going back out with them. First show back is Friday night. We did a whole month with them in the States and a lot of sold out shows, and it's just a great package, and they just dropped a new record not too long ago. And so it's all working out.
It's all working out nicely. And as you've said, quite very professionally, you got all the plugs in straight away. The 10th album, the 10th album.
I've been doing a lot of interviews, so that's probably why.
One or two, maybe, Josh, one or two.
Right.
So yeah, but Volume 10, I'm excited for you. And as you say, it's a big thing, and you've been doing this for 24 years. You had a little break in the middle. Well, sort of early on, didn't you? I mean, if you don't count that, it's like 28 years, or let's just say nearly 30 in the industry. That's amazing, isn't it? But you're still excited about this new album coming out. That feeling, I guess, never gets old.
Yeah, that's why I got into this, because I really love what I do. I really love music. Every aspect of this game is interesting to me to this day, and always want to remain teachable, and so making new records is a lot of fun. We always start from nothing, and it's like building a house, and to see people react to songs that you crafted from nothing around the world is like really a huge payoff. It's very inspiring.
So you started Buckcherry in '95. Did you think back then, oh, we're still going to be going in 2023, we're going to have 10 albums? Or did you not plan that far ahead? Or what was the feeling back then in '95? I mean, it's a completely different kettle of fish, wasn't it, back then as well?
I mean, I started doing this when I was 15, and I always visualized being in one band and having a catalog of music and a huge career. That's what I wanted. That's what I thought about, and that's what I worked really hard for. And it all happened. Of course, I don't live in the future, and I don't live in the past. I try to just take it one day at a time, and really just do what's in front of me. And before you know it, 24 years goes by, and here's your 10th record. And so uh, it's really, really cool. Really grateful, because I know how, hard this is to do, and not a lot of bands get to hit this milestone. And so we're all very grateful for that in this band.
We're very grateful to have it as well. So thanks for sticking around. We really appreciate that. Can you describe the album, Volume 10, in a sentence? Would you be able to,
In a sentence?
capture the mood, describe it or a few words, whatever you think.
It's a fun ride from beginning to end. That's all I can say. It's a journey, and there's a lot of dynamics in this record. There's songs like Feels Like Love and Pain, and then you have, the opener, This or That. That's, just a cool flavor for Buckcherry, and songs like With You, that kind of like Buckcherry meets the Scorpions, and stuff like that. It's just a good record, well-rounded. The songs are really good, and we worked really hard to get there. We wrote about 26 songs to get to a 10-song record. So I felt like we did our due diligence to make sure that it was something really cool when it hit the street.
Well, it sounds really cool to me. I'd say a powerhouse rock and roll extravaganza, one of the best rock albums of 2023. There you go.
Let's go. That's what I think.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
That's my thing anyway. So it's been building nicely anyway. 3 singles are out at the moment.
Yep.
So can you just give us a quick intro to Good Time?
Yeah, good time is exactly that. I mean, we had the pandemic and we kind of weathered that storm, and it was kind of a dark time for the world, and all of us hadn't been through something like that, not in our lifetime, not in my lifetime at least. And so, it was time to get back to having a good time rock and roll record. And Good Time is just about that. I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's kind of like a house party, and these guys get slipped some kind of drug, and everybody's face starts, they start kind of hallucinating, and that goes all the way back to my time. And I'm a native Californian. I grew up in Southern California, surfing and skateboarding. And when I got in my first band when I was 15, we would play house parties because we were too young to play clubs. And there, those type of things happened. We would sometimes we'd eat some acid or do whatever, and people's faces would contort like that. So kind of brought us back to our youth, and thought it was a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's a great song as well. And you mentioned some of the tracks from the album, and I just, because the album is, it's a rock and roll album, it's almost a party album, but it's not really just that kind of sound. There is the light and shade, and as you mentioned, Feels Like Love. That is a real beauty of a song. But when I first heard it, though, Josh, I thought it kept coming out. I was like, what does it remind me of? And it's a bit. This is just me. You might think I'm just being a bit silly. Def Leppard, Love Bites. It's got a bit of that about it.
It's not Love Bites. We modeled that song off Def Leppard's Hysteria, and
there you go.
Hysteria.
That's it then. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been I've been pretty obsessed with Hysteria. It's such a great song, and when you're a musician, sometimes you just, it's hard not to listen to music and break it down and analyze it, and the words and the melodies and the arrangement. And I always thought that was like such a perfect song. I've caught myself driving to that song and reminiscing about all kinds of things. And when a song does that to me, it's super powerful. So I wanted that song for BC. So I basically went in the studio one day after I was recorded vocals, and I said to Marty Fredrickson, our producer, and co-wrote a lot of songs on this record with him, and he goes all the way back to 15. And Stevie D, my guitar player, they were in the studio, and I said, hey, I want Buckcherry's Hysteria. That's what I want. And they're like, okay. And then it wasn't, a few hours later, I got this musical composition with no vocal on it, and it was Feels Like Love, and I started writing lyrics and melodies, and then Marty sent me another voice note of, he just kind of scattered this melody over it, and I really liked it, and it was better than my melody. And so I wrote words over his melody, and boom, it's just such a moment on this record, and it's such a moment in the live shows now. And I really, really love the song.
Yeah, I agree. And that's just typical Emma of getting half a story, like, oh yeah, it really reminds me of Love Bites. No, actually, Emma, it's Hysteria. All right, well, I was almost there.
You were right in the wheelhouse there.
It's weird though, isn't it? It just that, you wanted it to sound like it did. So fair play. And that is a beautiful song. I really like it. And Pain as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
The album is so you got 10 songs on volume 10, but actually
Yep.
you've got a bonus track as well. I cannot not ask you about the bonus track, which is a brilliant cover version, Summer of '69,
Thank you.
Bryan Adams. So why that song? Does it mean something to you in particular? What's the deal?
I mean, yeah, originally we were just going to have a bonus track, and we were just going to throw that on. We did Summer of '69 like at shows over the years, and just for fun for us, really, because we're huge fans of Bryan Adams, and that song is just amazing. And our manager, Larry Mazer, our great manager, he saw it one day at a show, and he's like, oh my God, you guys got to record this. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do it sometime. We didn't think much of it. And as far as, you know, it being like high priority. We were just writing songs, and then cut to here we are, and you know, the recording process of volume 10, and he kept hammering that into us, like, you got to record when you guys are recording Summer of '69. We're like, all right, we'll do it. And so I went in there and ripped it out, and you know, we sped it up a little bit, and we kind of put our little Buckcherry flavor on it, and it sounds like a Buckcherry song now, you know. And it's that's a great thing about a good song, you know. You can speed it up or slow it down, and it's still amazing. And I always liked that song because it kind of reminded me of summertime. You know, it takes me back to my youth, and you know, uh having a band and people leaving the band, and you know, getting new band members and that rotating thing, and then summertime, and you're with a girl and what that means, and all that kind of stuff. You know, he just paints such a cool picture in that song with his lyrics and melodies. And he was actually the king of that at that point in time. He wrote so many hits, you know. And so
Mm.
yeah, just thought it was a cool song for us to do, and I hope people like it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I love it. And I love the original too. I'm a bit of a Bryan Adams fan, gotta say.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have talked about the upcoming tour. You've already done a whole month out with Skid Row, and you've got more dates with Skid Row. Is that a joint headliner, or are you headlining, they headlining, you swapping? What's the
Yeah, it's
situation there?
co-headlining tour. We both do the same link of set, and it's, you know, it's awesome. You know, they have a great new singer, as you know. Eric is such a nice human being, and a really great vocalist, and they have so many hits. You know, it's just it's a no-brainer, you know. Like if I was spending my concert dollar money, I would go to that show for sure. It would it's a fun time, and people are really enjoying it.
Yeah, I bet they are. You've got loads of dates, your own dates as well, coming up to promote Volume 10. I looked at the tour list down on your website, and I just thought, oh my God, that's so many. I got a bit
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Do you look at the list and think, wow, that's so exciting? Or do you think, whoa, can we manage that? You know, how do you feel when you look at your tour list?
I don't look at the list, you know, because it gets a little overwhelming for me. I just take it one day at a time, especially being a singer and being 52 and doing this stuff. It's you know, it's very physically demanding set, you know. So I got to just take it one day at a time. I don't want to look at all those dates. I know they're there. Um, so that's it. That's the way I always approach it, you know, and it makes it more manageable for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was good. You kind of preempting my questions. You're just either we're both very cliched or both very professional. But I was going to say, how do you prepare physically for? I mean, you're fit anyway, aren't you? I mean, I presume you go to the gym. You know, and but you do have to when you get to our age. You know, you've got to
Yeah,
work harder, haven't you? It is
you
harder,
do.
and even as a 30-year-old it would have been hard work for you. So here we are now,
Right.
early 50s. Are you doing things differently now that you're older, just to keep up with the tour dates and make sure that you're fit and you give everybody a good show? What's the
Yes.
regime? What's all that?
Yeah, I can break it down for you, and you're absolutely right. You know, the older you get, you got to work harder. And I kind of feel when I hit 40, I was like, oof, I'm not snapping back like I used to. I gotta, you know, I have to keep searching and working. And so I found a new rhythm, you know, with my voice, and you know how I warm up and warm down, and all of that stuff. And I've always been really fit physically. You know, I really love to compete. You know, like I've already played a match of tennis before getting on with you this morning, and like I I I really like to do. I love sports, and that's good for vocals, you know, as far as cardio and all that. But when I'm out on the road, I'm really disciplined. Lots of water, room temp water prior to getting on stage. I don't drink water when I sing at all, you know. That helps. I always warm down after I sing too, to get down to back to my speaking voice. There's a lot of things you do. I vocalize every day, even when I'm not singing. That really keeps me flexible and, you know, sharp, you know, like I like to say. And then diet is a huge thing, you know. I eat about 6 p.m. Then I do a show, and I'm basically fasting like 16 hours a day because I don't eat at all after a show. I don't want to have acid reflux, it cuts down on that. I will rehydrate after a show, and then I just go to bed, and I get up and start my day, and so all those things really work for me. I know every singer has different things that work for them, but that's what works for me.
Sounds good. Sounds like you're taking your job quite seriously, Josh. You need to.
Yeah,
It's a serious business. So we're not just here
it
mucking about,
is.
are we? What would you say are the best things about playing live for you?
The best thing is I'm very attached to these songs. I write all the lyrics and melodies my whole career since record one. So I kind of go back in my head of where I was at when I write songs and when I'm going to song live. I love seeing the reaction from people on stage. I love to perform. I'm always learning new things about myself and my voice, and then the band as a whole, we're like a gang. We have such a great time together, and it really comes down to passion, and gratitude and all those things, and I think if you maintain that, you're always going to have fun doing this. That's what I love.
Are there any negatives to being out on tour, and doing this amount of dates?
Yeah, there's a ton of negatives, like just traveling weighs on you. It gets exhausting, and so that aspect of it is very challenging. And you know but when you're on stage, it all goes away. You're like, okay, now I know why I'm doing all this, because it gets exhausting, but that's part of the game. It's part of what you signed up for, so you got to just kind of stay in the moment, at least for me. And then there's other negative aspects of this business that you got to just manage, like being in, it is a business at the end of the day. You're not all, you have to put on your artist hat and take that off, put on your business hat. And so that can be taxing at times. But other than that, it all comes down to you're doing what you love, and this is what you're passionate about.
Yeah, and you have to remember why you got into it, don't you? I guess just to keep you going.
Absolutely.
And you've been doing it for a long time. It must be an absolute nightmare sorting out your set list now, because you have many, many years behind you and now 10 albums to choose from. So I mean, you're going to focus on volume 10, I guess. So how do you choose your set list? Is it the whole band together, or do you just sort it out? Who does all that?
Well, I truly feel like Hellbound and Volume 10 are our best records so far, like pound for pound, and then we have a lot of great records, from when we started, and great songs, So now I think I really have the ammunition to build a set every night that's worthy of, like, there's no stinkers at all, and that's a great place to be at, and so yeah, I get excited. I always kind of try to switch it up every night, so that people that are going to multiple shows, and we have a lot of people that come to multiple shows, are entertained, and we always keep the usual suspects, I call them, like Lit Up, Crazy Bitch, Riding, Sorry. Those are always going to be in there, but then we kind of rotate all the other stuff, and it's just a fun ride now.
It is. It's a ride from start to end. And I need to ask the question. I've looked at the tour dates. I cannot see the UK.
Yeah,
So when?
not yet.
Next year?
Yeah, we're gonna there's talk of coming to the UK right after the first of the year, and we're working on that right now. We tried to get there on Hellbound, but the COVID restrictions and all the stuff they were putting us through just to get the shows off with the testing and all the stuff, it just became a nightmare for us. And so we're working on that right now, the UK, and tying in Europe with that as well. So you guys should see some dates probably within the next couple months.
Brilliant. I mean, yeah, it is, as you say, it's kind of like a 2 album double whammy here in the UK, because we didn't get Hellbound, and now we get Hellbound and
Yeah,
Volume
yeah,
10. So
yeah,
that is
yeah.
going to be a hell of a show. Looking back over the last nearly 30 years, as we've discussed, What are the big highlights of your career in Buckcherry, would you say? Anything that just springs to mind now and you're like, yeah, that was it. That was the big thing.
Oh my God, there's so many, it would take a long time, but I can tell you, like, at the beginning there was Woodstock 99, that was big, going and, the first time we were in Europe, we were opening up for KISS, which was crazy, I mean, those were amazing shows. And we still run into people, because we just did the KISS cruise here, and we still run into people that saw us on those shows in 99, so that's really cool. We played the Millennium New Year show with Aerosmith in Osaka, Japan. That was huge. We played with AC/DC. We did about 4 shows in the United States. One of them was Madison Square Garden. We got to hang out and meet all those guys, and that was like rock and roll fantasy come true. And the list goes on and on and on. And then, Crazy Bitch was such a huge single for us. We just rode that wave, and got to do a really lot of cool festival shows and go around the world. And we got to go to South America with Motley Crue, and we did the first Crew Fest here in the States. I mean, it's just crazy. We've done a lot of stuff and got to play with our heroes, and have built this amazing fan base on our own, and just so grateful to be here after all the years.
It's amazing. Have you got any more dreams that you would like to come true?
Of course, yeah. I would like to be a worldwide arena headlining rock band on our own. That would be amazing if we could get to that place. I don't know if it'll ever get there because of the way, because of where the rock game is at this point and the way people get music. But that would be a huge goal for us to achieve, for sure. We got the songs, we got the history, and if we could get there, it would be great.
That would be amazing. We will finish up with talking about Shine Your Light, which is the new
Yeah,
single.
Shine Your Light.
So, yeah, what can you tell us about that, Josh?
It's just a great song. One of the first songs that Stevie and I and Marty wrote together. And it's really about having that one person in your life that you can trust, you can confide in, and a person that doesn't judge you, and that you can kind of just dump your stuff and know that they're there to, they're your rock. That's what Shine Your Light's about. And really love the song, and the melodies are really great, and it goes off live really well.
Yeah, I made a point of writing on my notes. I love the melody, the backing vocal, and Shine Your Light. It's a special song. It's a great song. So we will finish
Thank
by
you.
playing it. So thank you so much for taking time out. I know you're really, really busy. Absolutely amazing album. So looking forward to you coming back to the UK. It's been too long. And hopefully get to see you at a show. So thank you, Josh.
Yeah, that'd be great. We love coming there, and the shows are always a lot of fun there. It's chaotic when we get on stage there. It's so much fun. So we look forward to it too. And thank you so much.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Appreciate it. See you soon.
All right.
Take
Be
care.
good.